pretty lackluster battle pass has led to, well, this being possibly the most interesting vehicle out of the bunch. We will be taking a look at the German SPZ, that'll be tomorrow, tanks my secondary. This is a B7A2, essentially the Homare 23. It's a rank 3, battle rating 3.7. It's got 2 crew armed with a 13mm turret and 2 forward-firing 20mm cannons. It can also carry a whole ordnance that is exactly identical to the regular B7A2, and the only major distinction difference is this black cowling and front paint with a, well, houses a brand new engine, the Homare 23, as this aircraft is designated. Now, what's so special about the aircraft outside of that one? Well, if we take a look at the X-ray, it does get the 20mm cannons. There's 490 rounds per minute, and 200 rounds, so that's pretty cool. 2 crew, self-sealing fuel tanks, triple wing spars, the typical what you'd expect. And it is an absolute monster of a radial 18-cylinder air-cooled, max-powered 1765 horsepower engine, which is an impressive feat of its own right. And it also has a 13mm steel plate and a takeoff run of 270 meters with a top speed of 586 kilometers an hour and turn time of 20 seconds with a rate of climb of 14.9 meters a second, which is actually quite nice. And for being World War II aircraft, you get 33 repairs, and the max repair cost is about 1,500 silver lions. Its reward weight is 296 research points, and then the silver line is about 300%, so not too bad. Standard belts as they go. I probably would use stealth for 29mm of penetration, although its exact loadout is entirely identical to that of the regular B7A2, aside from its fancy new engine. Let's go see how it flies. First and foremost, this is what it looks like when it's sitting on the carrier. This is a crispy new cockpit for the aircraft. Unsure if it is any different to the regular B7A2, aside from the fact that it's got a really interesting sort of spread there on the gun side, and it's got a quite nice wooden handle as well for what appears to be a fairly robust aircraft. It handles like anything else and definitely has a very heavy feel to the aircraft, which is not bad when you're flying it, but again, it does take a little while to get up to speed as she's quite a heavy machine. The gear animation is exactly identical to that of its predecessor as well, and same with the crew placement, and the only real change again is the aforementioned front nose cone and that sort of capability on the engine front. So yeah, that's what it looks like when it's firing the guns. That's what it looks like in the interior. Gunner point of view is similar to what you'd expect. Good gunner arcs, decent rate of fire. This thing should be particularly fantastic, and it is sad to see that this aircraft isn't in the regular tech tree. Understand why, for, well, visual sake, but the only other thing to mention, a very slow roll rate on the ailerons. And it does have a bomb bay, surprisingly enough. So we're about to see that in action coming up right now. There's really nothing else to this thing. It's just really quite a interesting machine that, again, adds to the World War II arsenal. If you want to collect this item, again, you take part in the 12th season of the Battle Pass. I presume this will be level 50 reward because it is a rank 3. And being a premium aircraft, it should be a fantastic arsenal to those who really like having an extra vehicle. Now, comparing this to the Homare 12, it's 1400 horsepower engine with a max takeoff power of 1745. So you're looking at just over 200 to almost 300 horsepower difference between the two engines. So there should be a noticeable improvement in performance between the two vehicle types, despite the fact that these vehicles are exactly identical except for their engines. So there's that. Otherwise, there's not much more to tell you about this particular aircraft. It's going to be fun to see how this thing handles when I actually get test drives of them properly and see how they play out in ground forces and also in air realistic battles. But for those who are wanting a collector's vehicle, stay tuned for the 12th season of the Battle Pass coming soon to War Thunder. Otherwise, you've been updated. What do you think of this machine? Are you going to grind for it? Are you not going to bother? Let me know in the comments down below. My name is Ash. Thank you much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one soon. Bye-bye.